What's up guys, Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here. Today I'm going to be doing my review for Pumpkinhead. Now Pumpkinhead is a 1988 supernatural horror film starring Lance Henriksen, who's played in such franchises as Alien and Predator. So I'm going to get into this review. Now we're introduced to Ed Harley, who's played by Lance Henriksen. It's just him and his son. They own their own convenience shop, gas station, and the kid does not have a mother. So Ed is just trying to be the best father as well as playing the nurturing role that a mother would. He's just trying to do the best that he can and raise this kid to be hardworking, decent, honorable, just a good person, okay? So they're at their convenience shop doing what they do, taking care of the shop. These kids pull up from out of town and they start getting food, drink, whatever. One of the kids asks, you got any beer? And he's like, no. And when I say kids, I mean these are, to him, they're kids. They're young people. Very young, 20s, something like that. And one of the locals who knows Ed, he's like, hey, you owe me some money. And Ed's like, well, I can get it to you after dark or before dark. And he's like, well, I'm kind of needing it now. So he tells his son Billy, I'll be right back. Just watch the shop and I'll be right back. I'm just going to go down the road, get this guy's money, and I'm going to come back. Keep the dog inside. The dog's name is Gypsy. So these kids are still here. They're just doing their thing. They're talking, socializing, all that stuff. They get their dirt bikes out because they're going on this trip, right? And they brought dirt bikes with them. So they get on the dirt bikes. They start riding around. There's hills. This is a very hilly area. It's not specified, but it's kind of got that southern feel. So it's like somewhere in the south, there's dirt roads. It's a small town. Got that old backwoods country small town type of vibe to it. And they start riding their dirt bikes, and there's two of the guys on the dirt bikes. There's hills and they're going up and down and they're having a blast, right? Now Gypsy gets out and Billy goes to get Gypsy. That's his dog. He doesn't want the dog just running around. Unfortunately, when they're jumping a hill, they come down on him and basically run the kid over. It was an accident. They didn't see him. Somebody comes over and they're like, we got to call for help. But the asshole guy is like, no, man, I have a DUI. They're going to say that I was drinking or whatever, and I can't risk it. So they speed off. One guy kind of stays behind to make sure that they're actually going to at least try to keep this kid from dying. But Ed Harley gets back. He sees that his son is basically there, motionless, unresponsive. And, he takes his kid off. He's going home and he's going to try to get his son some help. Who knows how far it is from the nearest hospital. Maybe he just thought his son would be okay, but unfortunately his son dies. And this is when the movie really this is when the plot really starts. One of the people it's actually the guy he got the money for earlier, which is why he left in the first place. He asked this guy about, the witch that lives, he doesn't know where, but he's heard stories that she can conjure spirits or maybe even bring people back from the dead. The guy is reluctant to tell him. He doesn't want to because he knows nothing good can come of this, right? So what happens is the guy's son sneaks out and he's like, I can take you where you want to go. I know who you're looking for. I'll go halfway and I'll show you the way. So he gets in the truck, they drive, he kind of shows him the way to this witch's house. Basically, he gets there, he has his son, and he's like, you can bring my son back, right? And she's like, there's nothing I can do for him. And there's just one thing on his mind is revenge. And she basically tells him there's going to be a price to pay. And she has him go to this cemetery. There's a burial mound, and he digs up this creature, this item. He brings it back to the witch. She takes some of his blood. She does her thing, brings this thing to life, which is Pumpkinhead. Now, Pumpkinhead automatically feeds on the thoughts and the emotions of Ed Harley. And he's got vengeance in his heart. That's what he wants. He wants these kids dead for killing his son. So Pumpkinhead goes after them one by one. They kind of made it to their little spot, this cabin where they're going to be having their little getaway. But Pumpkinhead finds them and he starts to kill them. So a couple of them are killed. Ed Harley realizes after a while, because every time he kills one of these teens, Ed Harley can see what's happening and it takes a toll on him. He gets pretty weak and he realizes that this isn't what he wants. He doesn't want to take vengeance on these people anymore. He realizes it's wrong and he wants it to stop. So he tries to kill Pumpkinhead and save the remaining survivors, but unfortunately Pumpkinhead can't be killed. It's only through realizing that once he feels pain or is inflicted with pain, he's got this, I guess you'd call it like a flamethrower or a makeshift flamethrower. He's got it strapped on and he's walking, and then it gets caught on something. There's a pitchfork and it stabs him in like his shoulder. He sees that, and then Pumpkinhead also feels the pain in the same place. So he realizes that Pumpkinhead can't die unless he dies. And that's what the witch was basically trying to warn him about. It's not, you may get your vengeance, but it's going to come at a price. Okay? And so he decides to destroy Pumpkinhead by killing himself. Or at least he tries to. I don't know how he survived to his own head, but he doesn't die. And then the remaining survivor takes his little revolver, and she's the one to kill him, thus ending Pumpkinhead's vengeance. Now, the main theme of this is don't let vengeance and hate consume you, because it takes a toll on you. It destroys your soul. And I really like the message. It's a good message. It's a good theme to kind of revisit every now and again. We need to just let go of hate and vengeance in this world. So, good message. Okay, that's the main theme of this. Now, I really like this movie. It is lower budget, but it's still good. I love Pumpkinhead's design. The practical effects look fantastic. And honestly, it's pretty scary. I like the atmosphere, and it's a really short watch, less than 90 minutes. It's concise. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and nothing more, nothing less. It's just a good supernatural horror film. So I would give this movie a 7 out of 10, and I would definitely recommend that you watch Pumpkinhead.